Guess who got brands talking? Brandlife.co.za.
A very good morning to you. The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. That's by Albert Schweitzer. Helping others achieve their dreams. Help others achieve their dreams and you will achieve yours. That's by Les Brown. And then Stephen Curry said to excel at the highest level, or any level, really, you need to believe in yourself. And hands down, one of the biggest contributors to my self-confidence has been private coaching. That's by basketball genius Stephen Curry. Good morning and welcome to the Midweek Motivation here on brandlife.co.za, and thank you so much for joining us. This is the show that's dedicated to inspire you, to motivate you, and to encourage you to be, do, and have the best that you can have. Really, I believe that it's possible for us to achieve all our dreams, all our desires, and this show is here to serve you. It's here to serve you with tools and tips on how you can be successful, whatever success means to you. My name is Keenan Paulsen. I'm the author of the book called How to Win Before You Begin. I'm also a mental coach as well as a keynote speaker. So if you'd like to book me for any of your events, whether that be team building or leadership workshops, courses, or coaching, you can email me on keenan@mindfactory.co.za. This is the Midweek Motivation every single week, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. right here on brandlife.co.za. And if it's your first time listening, thank you. Welcome to the show. If you are a faithful follower of the show, we appreciate you. We could not do this without you. And I only ask that you keep spreading this message of hope, this message of encouragement, this message of absolute personal development. Now, today we've got a brilliant show planned for you, and I have an absolute expert that I know you're going to enjoy. Today, we're speaking all things coaching. All things coaching. I have Delicia Dreyer in studio here with me now. Delicia has worked for over 15 years in the human resource specialist field. She has a BA psychology degree, BA honors in industrial psychology. That was a bit of a tongue twister there. She's a Gibbs Professional Business Coaching Program student, and she went through that in 2015. Specialist focus areas: executive coaching, career coaching, team and leadership development, facilitation. Delicia is passionate about making sure people realize their personal potential. And so I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to chat to you. Thank you and welcome to the Midweek Motivation here this morning. I call her Leash, and that's because we have such a personal relationship. But Delicia, I mean, I've spoken briefly into your experience. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Keenan. So, Keen, I've been working for over 15 years now in corporate with a variety of different people, all different levels, from the more junior staff to middle to senior to directorship level staff. And a big part of my role was part of coaching. So many of the individuals that I worked with experience lots of different issues in the working environment, and those vary from leadership issues to the employees who perhaps have confidence issues, maybe even around the most basic of things like doing a presentation, for argument's sake, or confidence in fulfilling a particular project that is a little bit more challenging than what they're used to. So really over the last probably maybe 10 years or so, much of my time has been spent working with leadership and executive teams in getting the best out of their people, because really that's what coaches are able to do. Absolutely. It's a facilitated process. It's one whereby you know that the person has the capability to do these things that they are afraid of, and just need a space in which they're able to explore and have the questions asked of them, be challenged, and get the clarity and the answers that they need in order to overcome those particular challenges.
Beautiful. I love what you say. You say have the questions asked of him, and that's very different to have the answers given to them, right? So Delicia, tell us a little bit about, what you've summed it up briefly, but in a nutshell, your personal definition of what coaching is.
So at its fundamental, the coach is there to help the person to improve their own performance, in a nutshell. We know that people have a wealth of capability and a wealth of potential, and it's around being able to maximize that through really powerful questions. The person is able to get the clarity that they need and challenge some of the mindsets that are holding bring them back.
Yes.
So it's really a safe space. In my own definition, you're creating a container, a space where you have a rapport with the person,
Yes.
you have trust with the person, and you are able to suspend judgment of that person. Because I think oftentimes, people are held back by the fact that they are feeling judged about their
Yes.
inadequacies.
Yes.
So you're creating a space where you can let them be themselves, ask them these constructive and challenging questions,
yeah.
and guide them through this process to be able to get the clarity that they need, to get the breakthroughs that they need.
Okay.
And that for me is what coaching is.
Yes.
Oftentimes people have many aha moments in that
Through
session.
the coaching process,
Through
right?
the coaching process, that they're able to take out of there and then go and utilize and practice and try different things that maybe they had just not thought about
Yes.
before. So it's breaking down these perceived fears that they have, these perceived obstacles that they have, giving them, or not actually giving them, they are finding
Allowing
their
them to
own
experience
options.
those.
And they're
Yeah.
finding their own alternatives
Yes.
through that process.
Beautiful. So Delicia, what is coaching? What is coaching not? I mean, you speak extensively about a relationship. You speak extensively about value and serving others. We've defined what it is, but I think it's also important to bring to the conversation what coaching is not.
Absolutely. So coaching is not therapy. It's
Yes.
not booking an appointment with my psychologist.
So you're not sitting on some couch telling someone your problems.
Absolutely not. It's a much more proactive experience. We're not talking about the person's past. It's not
Yes.
psychotherapy.
Yes.
It's dealing with the here and now. It's dealing with the
Right.
present. It's
Mapping
it's
a way forward.
Absolutely. It's a position where the person is actually in power and in charge of their own destiny.
Right.
They are able to go out of there motivated to achieve these
Beautiful.
things that we've been talking about within the session, and that is, they're very clear professional boundaries that I think we need to draw between seeing a psychologist or a therapist
Yes.
versus my work with my coach.
What's your coach? Absolutely. So, Delicia, what are some of the essential qualities of a good coach? Because I'm thinking, I'm out here, I've got all this potential that I'd like to realize, and I don't know what to do next. I don't have any next steps. All I know is I have a dream in my heart. I have a desire, a burning desire to be successful or to have that key relationship or to, go and attain some sort of fitness goal, whatever it may be, because I guess we're speaking very broadly. We're not only speaking in business or entrepreneurship. I guess we're speaking in coaching, we're speaking about coaching as a blanket or as an umbrella term. What are some of the essential qualities that a good coach displays?
Very good question. So, I think many people, probably more than we think, have not had maybe a coaching relationship.
Coaching is not
And
popular right now.
Absolutely.
And I say that loosely because we have people that are being coached, and there are some that do not believe in the philosophy of coaching at
and
all.
the benefits, absolutely.
And the benefits, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, it's helpful to just get a bit of an appreciation as to what
Yes.
the qualities are of a coach, so that
Yes.
the person coming in knows what they should be expecting. I think it's important too that your coach is trained and is accredited, because you are dealing with people's lives, and you need to uphold ethical boundaries and ethical standards when you're working with people.
Who are you accredited with?
I'm accredited with the International Coach Federation.
The International Coaching
International
Federation.
Coach
So it's
Federation.
an international body that
Absolutely.
governs you.
So the
Beautiful.
training that I went through with Gibbs is accredited by this body, because they're basically giving it a stamp of approval then to say that people that have gone through this, they believe have gone through the right
Yes.
training and have
Yes.
met a certain
They're capable.
standard and have met the ethical code that they abide by.
Beautiful.
And that they're credible.
Okay.
So just in terms of what one should expect in the coaching relationship,
Yes.
in terms of those qualities, is that you have to be an excellent listener. You are not there giving advice. You're not the one answering all the questions or providing solutions to the person. You're suspending judgment, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And you're really listening on a very deep level, not only to verbally what the person is saying, but non-verbally what they're saying. So you're able to pick up on the cues of the individual and say, oh, I noticed that you really felt like you shrunk a little bit when you talked about this thing, this particular thing that we're talking about, what's going on there.
So it's about interpreting body language, it's about interpreting tones.
Really
so a great communicator.
Absolutely. Great communicator.
Beautiful.
You need to reflect back. So you need to paraphrase and you need to say, is this am I understanding you correctly when you were talking about this? Is quite an important skill also that goes along with listening. Question skillfully. Absolutely critical. Yes. So you need to be able to allow the person to express their thoughts and feelings. Yes. You don't provide answers. Yes. They are actually finding the answers and the solutions themselves.
I love what you're saying about asking questions skillfully. One of my teachers, Dr. Mike Murdoch, he's a Texan business person and a public speaker. He says the quality of your questions will determine the quality of your life. And while we're speaking about questions, Delicia, for those of you following us on Facebook Live, welcome. And please feel free to make a comment or ask a question of Delicia, and we'll be sure to answer that. The quality of your questions determine the quality of your life. And so asking skillful questions as a coach, do you have a list of questions that you go through, or is this sort of a skill that you've just developed over time and you're able to act on the fly and suss the situation out and come up with great questions on the spot? What's your
my own style is one that it has to be a natural flow.
Right.
It can't be contrived or overly prepared. So each session is so unique and different, and really at any given time one is not sure exactly the path that's going to be taking.
Yes.
Because as I'll talk a little bit later, the focus is really on the client's agenda, not on your own.
Absolutely.
So it can't be over contrived where I have a list of questions, because effectively then what I'm doing is I'm leading the conversation and
you're
I'm
driving
trying
the process.
to drive it absolutely in a particular direction rather than listening, asking questions coming off the bat of what it is that person has answered or their responses. I think a big problem that we have, just generally speaking, even when we're having ordinary conversations in the business world or at home, is that we stop listening very early on in the conversation.
Wow.
And we're already starting to think about and prepare our responses and trying to be smart and trying to think about what is a really intelligent response for me to have to this person.
Yes.
So my ability to actually listen with depth and with quality has stopped long before that person has actually even concluded what it is that they're trying to tell me about.
Yes.
And so, it's not really a process that I like to follow where I have scripted questions. It's really
it's
going
very
with
organic.
the flow.
The conversation's very organic, and you just reacting to what your client's speaking about. Delicia, maybe here's the thing about coaching. I feel often the people that need coaching don't solicit that kind of service, and those who don't need it are the ones who go out there to get it. And it's this idea that people who are passionate about personal development and people who are passionate about reaching their own potential, those are the guys going out there to find the answer. But is that not exactly what coaching is? Coaching is about guiding you to find the answer for yourself.
Yes.
And the ones who are maybe performing poorly or not reaching their potential are the ones that are not interested in coaching. So I guess what I'm asking you is coaching only for those low performers? Is that the only need that coaching services?
No, absolutely
Because
not.
it is about performance enhancement, is it not?
It is absolutely about performance enhancement, but everybody can benefit from coaching. So you're not just trying to lift the game necessarily of the person who is maybe lagging behind in performance.
Yes.
You are also saying that it is there to optimize or to maximize the potential of someone that is already on the ball.
Yes.
Someone that is already
Someone who's already achieving
someone that's
their-
already achieving. Because again, the challenges that people present with in these sessions are varied and are different.
Yes.
So I might be at the top of my leadership game, or even as an employee, I might be delivering and performing. But it doesn't mean that I don't have opportunity to work on other aspects of myself that might not be obvious and present to
Yes.
those around me. All they're seeing
Yes.
is the good performance,
Yes.
for instance, but they're not seeing actually that this person, has sleepless nights the night before they have to do a presentation and has major confidence issues because that's just not something that's visible
Yes.
to them necessarily.
Yes.
So it's there for both. It's there for both. It's around having, I suppose, the closing out your blind spots and knowing yourself.
I was about
getting
to
to know
say-
yourself as well as you can,
Yes.
so that you can solicit, the support
Yes.
that you need. Even if it's not in a formal coaching relationship, you can still have a coach who is a peer, who is a
Wow.
colleague, who's a manager.
Yes.
It doesn't just have to be a
formal-
professional coach
Right.
that can support you.
Beautiful. Delicia, I love where the conversation's going. We're going to go to an ad break and we're going to pick up this conversation about coaching and what it is and where's the value. And I mean, maybe when we come back, you can share some coaching stories with us, some experiences where you've assisted people, because I believe that this show is for those people who are skeptical about coaching or about opening up their lives to someone else. So after the break, we're going to speak to Delicia about some coaching stories, and she's going to tell us, a decade worth of experience. We have to extract some meaning. This is brandlife.co.za, and you are listening to the Midweek Motivation.
The Dramatic Talk with myself, Bongani Drama. Bringing you insightful conversations on the Convo Corner, your latest celebrity news on Dramatainment, and your latest fashion news on Stash and Fade.
This is Bongani.
And myself, Rose Rataha, bringing you your latest news and sports updates.
Every Wednesdays, 2 to 3 p.m. Only on www.brandlife.co.za.
Best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
This one is explosive.
brandlife.co.za.
Lunatic, 'cause I do what I want, and I get what I want when I want it. You know life can be so ordinary. Boy meets girl, they said will make a baby.
brandlife.co.za. Harnessing the power of talk radio. brandlife.co.za.
Welcome back to the Midweek Motivation right here on brandlive.co.za. We're speaking to Delicia Dreyer, coaching and leadership expert, actually. Delicia, we segued a little bit off topic before we went for the break. You were telling us about the qualities of a good coach.
Yeah.
Please continue.
All right.
We got stuck.
No, it's fine. Challenging constructively is absolutely key.
Right.
Your clients sometimes can't see contradictions between what they're saying and what they're doing.
Wow.
And they sometimes present with limiting beliefs that challenge them and that prevent them really from being able to get the breakthroughs that they need. Providing feedback, not criticism, is really important.
And that speaks again into that non-judging, environment.
Non-judgmental space.
That
Absolutely.
you're creating.
You don't want to ever assert your expertise at the cost of leaving your client or the coachee feeling inadequate. That is just absolutely not on.
Yes.
And then we started talking earlier around the focus of the session being on the client, not on yourself.
Yes.
So this is not your agenda.
Yes.
This is not about your needs. It's not about your solutions. It's what they would like to talk about, how they identify their core values.
Absolutely.
And their goals.
One of the guys, Keegan, actually mentioned on Facebook Live, he says the coachee has to do more talking than the coach.
Absolutely.
And it's this idea that the focus is really on you as the client. It's not about the coach. I mean, we're speaking about the qualities of the coach, but these qualities really really are there to serve you. Please continue.
Absolutely. So you do not want to be doing more talking than the client at all. And
Yes.
that silence is actually quite a nice place to be, because oftentimes we want to fill up the space with words.
Yes.
So you can ask a question
And
and
allow it to just-
just sit there
Beautiful.
and allow the client or the coachee the opportunity to really digest
And
and
reflect
to
that.
dissolve and to think about that particular question,
Absolutely.
rather than prompting and probing and like I say, filling the space up. You're able to help the person explore different perspectives, so that they can choose what's most empowering
Yes.
for them. It's a really encouraging and supportive environment as well. And a lot of people actually need that. People want to be listened to. People
Yes.
want to feel supported. But nice in the sense that this person can challenge you and is not just going to necessarily pacify you or
Yes.
be like a different relationship outside of this coach relationship, where you're just going to have this person saying all the things that you need them to say to comfort you, to
Yes.
support you. It is quite different from that point of view. And then the last and very important one is keeping confidentiality.
That's of paramount importance, right?
Of paramount importance. This is really where the trust hinges. People want to feel that it is a space in which they are not going to have any of their confidences divulged outside of that.
Because I'm sure we're sharing vulnerable information in these sessions, and you don't want that information, going anywhere else.
Yeah,
Are there
absolutely.
formal agreements that you actually sign in
Yes,
your?
absolutely. So you would sign a coaching contract, which would have all the terms and conditions of that, agreement.
Yes.
From how many sessions you're going to be having with the person, to the ethical code that the coach has to uphold, and so on. So you
Beautiful.
would sign a formal contract that binds you to that.
So Delicia, you gave us a whole list. I think you mentioned about 10 or 11 qualities. How many of those qualities do you have?
I believe I have them all.
Yes.
I really
That was
do.
said with so much confidence.
Well, you
And
have
that creates
to.
so much trust, and I can be confident in you when you answer that question like that.
You have to have them all.
Yes.
This is not something that I just woke up the other day deciding to go
Absolutely.
into.
Absolutely.
I really do believe that you have a calling within you, you have a purpose within you. It's something that has been on my heart for a very long time, and I think even with the type of degree that I selected, there's
Yes.
always been I've always lended myself to the interpersonal side of working with people, to and at times it's probably been a lot more supportive,
Yes.
but in honing in your skills and in working with professionals and business people over all of these years, you learn and you develop and you fine-tune this skill set.
Yes.
I find that really I'm at my best when I'm in my coaching sessions with clients, because there's just a
Is that a space
real-
that energizes you? You
it's
come
a
alive
real
in that.
space that is very energizing, a place where you feel most at home.
Yes.
And that's when you're actually doing what you love.
Beautiful. If I was someone seeking coaching, I would want to be with a coach that has all those qualities, but that's also so passionate about helping and serving people. And I've interacted with you many times, and I can definitely say you've got all these qualities and more. Tell us a little bit. Tell us a story, and obviously, I mean, the confidentiality thing is going to be tested here, so don't mention any names. But tell us a coaching story where you, I mean, I don't want to downplay it, but you took someone from zero to hero.
So quite a relevant and recent example. I was working with a team about a year ago, and there were major issues in this team.
Okay.
Some of them attested to leadership or leadership
Leadership challenges.
Leadership challenges, we definitely can't underplay them, because they have a really profound and negative effect on
Absolutely.
the performance of the people in that team, on
Yes.
the delivery of that team, and it can at times really kill a lot of potential, and people are
Yes.
really very unhappy.
There's the quotation that says, everything rises and falls on leadership.
Absolutely.
So we can't
Absolutely.
underplay that, of course.
So this is the team that I intervened and started
Yes.
working with, and I worked with a number of individuals in that team,
Right.
and with the leader as well. And I
Were
think
these private sessions or was it a group session?
so they were. It was both.
Okay.
It was both. So they were some of the work that I did with them was a group session, and others was actually with individuals. And working with these individuals, the one employee that springs to mind was having such a difficult time with the challenges
Yes.
that were going on within that space, and particularly with the relationship with the leader. And I started working with her. And really, to cut a long story short, because we don't have a lot of time, the individual who was really at a point where she was prepared to give up on her career,
Wow.
leave
So
her
rock
job,
bottom,
take a demotion essentially, and move into a career that she perceived would be less challenging, would be something that would be easier for to do, because her confidence was so knocked by what was going on at the time. In working with this individual, a complete turnaround. Not only did she not leave the job that she had planned
that.
on leaving,
Yes.
but in fact has had more than one promotion in the time
Since the coaching?
Since then.
Wow.
Confidence is back up. Ability to think more clearly and challenge constructively, and just use the innate skills that she actually
That she
always
has.
had, that
Yeah.
had been suffocated through that working experience, had been put to bed.
Yes.
So a really nice example of somebody that came out better for it.
Yes.
And I think what's important to note is that this is not the coach's doing.
Yes. The
It's
coach
a
is not the hero of the
facilitated-
story,
The coach
is it?
is not the hero of the story.
Absolutely.
It's a humbling experience to actually work as a coach, because you're not the star of the show.
Yes.
The person is the star of the show. They are the expert in their
You have
own
to come
life.
with that kind of attitude and
It's not
mentality.
about
It's not
you.
about you.
It
It's about
has
serving others. I think that was one of the
absolutely
first
nothing-
quotations. It has to be about serving others. Beautiful, Delicia. Thank you for sharing that story with us, and congratulations on that success, because it is a success of yours that you were able to help,
Thank you.
right? I don't know if maybe there are scenarios where you're not able to help. What are you doing then? What are you doing in that scenario?
So like anything,
Yeah.
Keen, I think you need a willing participant.
Yes.
You can't shove coaching down anybody's throat.
Right,
I know
absolutely.
that some corporates will actually identify employees who they believe need to go through coaching. For a variety of reasons. But you need a willing participant. You just simply can't get someone to change.
Yeah.
because
So coaching
you want
alone is
them
not going to fix it.
Coaching alone is not going to fix it.
Right.
You need the person to be committed to the change. You need them to believe in the process themselves.
Yes.
You need them to connect with you. You need them to have a willingness to want to be in a different place, and also
Yes.
to identify that perhaps what is being said or the feedback that they're getting, they validate and they agree with. Because you just simply can't say, I'm sitting here and I'm giving this person coaching about, being communicating better, and they think
Yes.
that there's no problem there.
Right.
So that is quite key.
Maybe we can touch on when not to partner with a coach, because I think we've really expressed the value of coaching, and I believe that that's very clear. But when do we not want to engage in a coaching relationship?
I think it's the converse of what I've mentioned around when you would want to partner with them, is that you, if you don't want to change, if you are not prepared to try different things, if you're not prepared to be challenged, if you don't want to invest in that time and effort and energy, and if you don't have a connection with the person
Brilliant.
that you've identified as a coach, then
Now you speak
just
about
don't do it.
connection, and I know that we spoke about a chemistry session that you do up front. It's a free session. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right in saying?
Yeah.
Talk us through that chemistry session and why it's important for someone looking for a coach to have a chemistry session.
It's really critical. I don't think that you can actually progress or even have a coaching relationship.
So it's not about finding a coach online, clicking and booking an appointment, and there you go. And
No, and in fact, again, along with the kind of ethical codes that we're bound by, these
Yes.
first chemistry sessions should not be a charged session.
Yes.
Because you need to be able to sit with this person. It really isn't about the business of the coaching
Right.
at that particular point in time. It's about
Although there is
getting
an
to know
element-
the person.
Yes.
It's about talking about each other's backgrounds. It's very informal. It is really about do I connect with this person? Is there chemistry there? Is there a rapport there? Do I like this person? You know, sometimes we
Can they
meet
be
people
trusted? Absolutely.
and we just don't, I just don't think I really like this person. I don't know
Yes.
why, but there's just
Yes.
something there I just don't like.
And we all know
So
that feeling.
We all know that feeling. So really the chemistry session is to unpack that
Yes.
and to understand, is this someone that I believe I could get along with? I believe that I could build a rapport with, I could
Yes.
I could trust. And that's on the part of the client.
Yes.
They need to come to that those understandings themselves through that session. They need to walk out feeling that they are comfortable with
Beautiful.
the person.
I think this has been a valuable discussion. I'm certainly so grateful to have had it with you. You're
you.
such an expert, and you have such a gentle way of speaking very succinctly about your beliefs and about your philosophies around helping people and coaching and leadership. And I can tell that you're the type of person who would challenge your clients. I'm grateful to have had this conversation with you. And to you on Facebook Live and those listening on brandlife.co.za over the airwaves, I trust that this conversation has been valuable for you as well. And maybe we've planted a seed for you. Maybe now's the time that you need to go out and look for a coach, or just have that conversation with somebody that you perceive to be knowledgeable and trustworthy and confidential, and all those beautiful qualities that Delicia mentioned. And so I just like to say, Delicia, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thanks.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And if you are interested in having one of those chemistry sessions that we spoke about here at the end, or if you're interested in getting in touch with Delicia, I'd love for you to send an email to info@mindfactory.co.za. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to have Delicia as part of the Mind Factory team, coaching and facilitating, particularly leadership, personal development, one-on-one and group coaching with us. So thank you so much for that as well. I'm excited about the value that we can deliver to the people. Go out there and send an email, info@mindfactory.co.za. Once again, this 30 minutes has flown by. It feels like it's not enough. There was so much more we could get into, but let's have that conversation one-on-one. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you for tuning into the Midweek Motivation every single week, 10 a.m. here on brandlive.co.za. Remember, you can do, be, and have all that you desire to be. Until next week, we'll chat again. Stay safe and God bless.